Welcome to another Willy Weighs In. This is the Edmonton Oilers versus the Philadelphia Flyers. And you know what? It's another game on the road. They so far are 2-1 on this road trip. Lost to Tampa Bay, won against Florida, lost to Carolina in a nail biter, and now they're in Philadelphia. And this one is started by Mikko Koskinen, their hot goaltender who's on a roll, 6-0-1 in his last 7 starts for the Oilers. Now, the Oilers get off to a great start. They've got a power play to start. And you know what the Edmonton Oilers do? They do what they do best on the power play. They pass, they overpass, and generate one shot. It's a Connor McDavid kind of sharp angle shot on Carter Hart. It's an easy stop for him, but they just overpass. On this power play, they've got Barrie quarterbacking it. They're having trouble settling the puck down, getting it to one another, and just not shooting. Super frustrating. Also important to note that back in the lineup is 1, Kyler Yamamoto, and 2, yes, that's his number, Duncan Keith on the blue line. So that's going to help give a little bit more depth to the blue line. This game has been somewhat a little bit boring. Philly is out shooting Edmonton. Koskinen's making timely saves. Edmonton's pushing, but not that great. Koskinen's made some huge saves. There's one where he fell back and just batted the puck out. There was a 5-on-3 power play for the Philadelphia Flyers for about a minute that they killed off. Koskinen came up with some huge saves, big shoulder save. He's been in the right place at the right time, and the team killed that off. Then they killed off the 5-on-4 that ensued, and then Edmonton eventually gets a power play of their own, and on that power play, Connor gets the puck, and guess who's quarterbacking this one? It's not Barrie, it's Darnell Nurse, who I think does a really good job on the power play as well. Edmonton's got a lot of weapons in terms of defensive quarterbacking on the power play. You've got Tyson Barrie, who was fire last year for them on the PP, and then Darnell Nurse, who does a fine job as the number 1 power play quarterback as well, and Evan Bouchard, who's got the heavy Bouch bomb that can get that puck through. So on this one, it's Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse gets the puck over to Leon Draisaitl at the other side of the blue line. He lets a beautiful wrister go. Top shelf. Looks like maybe Kane might have tipped it, but he did not. That is an assist for Connor, an assist for Nurse, and a goal for Draisaitl. That is your Oilers core right there, all contributing on the game-leading goal. 1-0 Oilers. And then the end of the period starts to come, and Philly gets Edmonton on their heels again. But my God, Edmonton fights it off, and they leave this period with a 1-0 advantage. Now, there's still a lot of game to play, so let's see what happens in the second. All right, second period starts up, and about 4 minutes in, Edmonton gets a power play. On this power play, they can't generate a thing. They can sustain pressure in the offensive zone, but the thing that the Edmonton Oilers really like to do is pass the puck. They love to overpass on the power play, and this has been a theme for years. McDavid to Nurse, to Draisaitl, to Nurse, to McDavid, to Nurse, to Draisaitl, and then there's not that many scoring opportunities that are generated. It's really frustrating to watch, especially since you know that they're looking for the perfect play. And you know what? Sometimes that perfect play is throwing it on net, looking for that rebound, getting a garbage goal, and that chaos creates an opportunity to score. So it's frustrating to watch. And you know what? Philadelphia has done a pretty good job on the penalty kill, keeping the Oilers' chances and keeping low and keeping them out of their defensive zone. So it's frustrating to watch, but you know what? At the end of the day, the Oilers do get a beautifully gritty, disgusting garbage goal. Draisaitl gets in low, gets a shot off, rebound pops out from Hart, and Kane gets a stick on it, but it doesn't make it that close. And little honey badger Kyler, Yamamoto gets in there with his stick, pokes it in. It's a good goal. 2-0 for the Oilers. Whew, my God, finally. It's feeling like the Oilers are building a little bit of insurance, and Koskinen's playing fantastic to boot, making big saves. The team's playing good. It's just that power play is a little frustrating at times. But overall, as a road game, you got to be happy with what you're seeing. You know, they're playing well. There's been a couple questionable hits, you know, one on Draisaitl from behind. You don't want him getting injured at all. Looks like, you know, there's some carelessness with the sticks from the Philadelphia Flyers. You know, there's a high stick that's called on Yamamoto at one point, but it's Provorov's stick that hits, I believe it's Konechny. So that nothing happens there, but Yamamoto gets a high sticking penalty. That very well could have been in the first period. My mind is kind of garbled. But Edmonton has got the lead. They're playing with the lead, which is something that's really beautiful to watch and nice as a fan, less stressful than you normally think these games would be as a fan. So we're heading into the third period with a 2-0 lead. Let's hope they can keep it scoreless again and maybe get some more insurance in there. I guess let's see what happens in the third. Welcome back. It's the third period. One thing I grazed over at the beginning of that second period was a fantastic defensive play that Darnell Nurse did. Ristolainen was coming out of the penalty box. He had a partial break. Nurse reaches up with his stick and breaks it up. Huge play. But let's forget that for now. Heading into the third, man, Philadelphia comes out and they pour on the pressure. Mikko Koskinen is making huge saves. Big blocker save. Huge pad save. Unbelievable. The guy is playing out of his mind. And you know what? He does so with a shutout. Gets a shutout. The first of the year, 6th of his career. Man, Mikko Koskinen is in fine form. In his last 8 games, he is 7-0-1. Man, this team is playing in front of him, and he is giving them exactly what they need, which is the chance to win. Unreal. He's played great. Edmonton seals the deal, final 2 minutes of the game, with an empty netter from Hyman to Draisaitl to McDavid, who gets the empty netter goal. Now, Edmonton, at this point, now, I'm not sure what's happening with Vegas, but as it stands, they were 1 point back of Vegas. This should give them that third spot. I believe they were at 61. Vegas had 62 points. Now this puts Edmonton at 63 points and in that third playoff position out of the wild card. And I guess we'll see how that all pans out after tonight. But, man, the playoff race is real. And Edmonton came away with a win that they needed to take on this road trip. Next one they need is, again, I believe it's Thursday they play the Chicago Blackhawks. They need that win as well. That should be a mark in the win column. But my God, the goaltending, super pumped. Koskinen's playing great. They need to keep riding him. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. What would you do? That's my question. What would you do Thursday? Mike Smith played well against Carolina. 2-1 loss, nothing to scoff at. Do they go back to Smith, or do you ride the hot hand, Koskinen? If it's me making that call right now, I'd be playing Koskinen. I would say, are you all right to play? How are you feeling? Coming off the shutout, right? 39 saves. He did get quite peppered. So let's see if Koskinen's starting. Man, pumped up. Oh, this has been a Willy Weighs In. Thanks for watching. You know what? I'll see you Thursday for the Chicago-Edmonton game. And you know what? Have a great night. Please remember to watch the main pod with myself, Pilon, Sanjay, and Baron. And please like, subscribe, and join the comments. I have a fun time talking with you guys and listening to your strategies, what you would do, and any questions you have. It's a lot of fun in the comment section. So take care and subscribe. This has been Willy Weighs In.